Today there were new improvements that were released for Roam research, and I see a lot of questions already online about these new features, and I thought I'd do a quick video. I'm still exploring these features for myself, but I understand their power and I'm already very excited about using them. How can you tell when there are new features? Well, if you go into the Help menu and you go to the Help database, it'll bring you to the Roam Public Help database, and there you have the Roam changelog. And here we see August 10th. It showed up for me today. Improvements, block references. You can now replace block references with text, embed, alias, or with text plus alias. And I will demonstrate some of those things. Today is a good day for a Roman mind meld to share ideas with one another. So to start off with, let's look at blocks. So before we can look at these new features, you have to understand the importance of blocks. I'm always saying that blocks are the secret sauce of Roam. There are a lot of other outliners out there, and there are good outliners out there, but this is something that Roam really gets. And as Roam users, we need to learn to think in blocks, not paragraphs. A block is basically this point and all text connected. So sometimes it's referred to as a point, a node, a block, a paragraph, but really in the Roam vernacular, it's a block, from what I've understood. And we want to think that way. Why are blocks so important? Well, let's think about Legos. Legos look like this in the beginning. They're just little pieces that you put together to take many shapes. Likewise, when you're producing text, you're producing many blocks of text. Not thinking about pages or paragraphs, thinking about blocks, because those can be reused and shaped in many ways. For example, with these Legos, I can make a house. And with the same Legos, I can make myself a spaceship. So thinking in blocks, these are the building blocks for our content. They allow us to be creative and innovative. I'm not saying that pages aren't important, but in the past, the page was a really important entity for us, primarily because of printing. But in this context, they're really just a simple way of collecting a group of blocks together. Blocks are the secret sauce of Roam. Now, I know you want to see the new features, but hold on. Let's make sure we're using the right language. So I'm going to create some text here in a block. And as you know, I can duplicate that. It's just text. Well, Roam has the ability for me to be able to link to that text. So by using two open brackets and I begin to type the beginning of the text, it shows me all the blocks in my Roam database. I want the one that's right above me. I click enter, enter, and now I've inserted, in effect, a reference to this block. So anytime I change this block, then the reference is updated. So it allows me to take this block and I can use it in other places. Like, for example, on my daily note, I can say, okay. And there's my text. Another great feature, and this is a very powerful paradigm as well, is an embed. So a block embed. And what this is, it's basically the same thing as I just did when I made a reference, but instead of just a reference, this is actually editable as well. Whereas if I edit up here, okay, you see it synchronized, but I can also edit here, and it's not synchronized back. So you have the ability to pull in other blocks to make blocks editable. So very powerful. So let's look at the new features now. If you have your mouse above a block reference, you see that there's now a new pointer. It looks different than when I point above just a plain old block. With a little arrow, click it, and now I get a menu. And I can say jump to block. So if this block came from another page, I would be navigated to that page. Or I can say open this block in the sidebar. And here it is on the side. So it allows me to hold a pointer to that block when I navigate elsewhere in my diagram. Some other options here, replace with an embed, replace with text. So for example, I have a block here and now I just want it to be text. I can click that and now you see it's just regular text. It's no longer linked. Let me undo that. I turn it back into a block. replace with an alias, and replace with a text alias. And this is a really cool feature. It's a little bit confusing at first because you're not sure what it really happened. What it did is it converted this reference block into pure text. So it's not linked to this anymore, but it added a footnote reference to the original block. So I can reuse the text, begin to change it, it becomes its own thing, but I have a pointer back to where I began. So that is also very useful. But what's even more exciting, in my opinion, is the next feature. Let's talk about some block level interactions. This is the early death of the RoamMonkey template engine. So that's one feature inside RoamMonkey. It's a very hack of a hack of a hack of a hack. So it's very fragile, but now we have the beginnings of a native template capability in Roam, and this is worth really exploring. Let me show you how to use that. I've created some examples that will make it more interesting. Many of us have templates that we frequently reuse. For example, you might have a template that you use. These are basic bullet points that you want to refer to every single day. It might be a to-do list and reminders, a schedule. In addition, you might have other templates, text that you reuse, like if you're reading an article, various attributes that you want to capture. And there's a lot of examples. I'm going to load up my sidebar here. And I don't know if you noticed this in RoamMonkey, I added a new feature recently. Just if you pull up the help, which is Alt-Shift-H, there's now Alt-Shift / Alt-Shift /, and that just simply toggles the sidebar open and closed if you keep pressing it. So if you're like me, you like to keep your hands on the keyboard and quickly get around. So I created a page called Templates, and here I have my day template. These are basic activities I like to do every day. In addition, I added a number of algorithms of thought that I like to reuse from time to time. So how would I use that? So just to see the templates on the side. To repeat that in this page, I again create a block reference to this block here. So T:, day, and there it is. I click it, and now I've created a block reference. If I click on the block reference, I now see a menu and I see Apply Children. And I have a few options here: Apply Children as text and Apply Children as references. When I click as text, it basically grabs all the text you see here and pastes it underneath this block. So now I have my underneath this block. So now I have my agenda for the day. So if I want that to be the root level, I just shift it back and I get rid of the original block, and there is my template ready to go. So let's repeat that one more time. This time I'll do a algorithm thought, the difference engine template. So I'm going to again create a block, type in the name of my block. I have to scroll because we can't see it. I want the difference engine template. There it is. Now it's embedded as a reference. When I click on it, Apply Children, and instead of doing as text, I'm going to do as reference. The difference is, instead of getting a copy of the text as a duplicate, I actually get references to the original blocks. So now I'm going to start typing in some text like the situation is this and that. But as you see, it didn't change the original text in the template. But let's say later I decide I want this template to be different. I might, instead of saying current situation, I might want this to be current activity. See how it updated here? So all of my block references get updated and that template is active. So I would usually get rid of the parent there, bring this back to the root level, and now I have my algorithm of thought. This is also a very fascinating concept for maybe creating repeating tasks or dealing with projects. Repeating tasks still require a little bit of thought, but it could be possible that I have this template here. Let's embed that again. T, which is my shortcut for tasks. day, I drop it in. I'm going to do it as apply children as references. And now as I check the boxes, you'll see that the boxes are getting checked in the template. So on the next day, I might copy this template in and just clear all the check boxes. And now I'm back to my repeating daily activities. This is also really interesting if you're dealing with projects. So I have a simple project set up here, the objectives, the timeline, and here's some tasks. So imagine I'm on my day page and I say to myself, you know what, I want to work on that project today. But instead of having to go to the project, I can actually bring my tasks to me. So let's do that. So again, I'm just making a block reference to that task list. I'm saying applying as children as references. And now I'm linked. And so let's say today I finish this step and I finish this step. And let's jump ahead to tomorrow. I want to continue this project tomorrow. No problem. I'm going to insert the same block reference, apply children as reference, and there is my task list repeated on the next day, ready for tomorrow. Now there's one more feature I want to talk about, and to be honest with you, I don't know if this is new or not because I don't remember seeing it. So if it already existed, I apologize for wasting your time, but for me it was new. Maybe you haven't noticed it, so it's worth mentioning. I'm going to pull up a page here. I have some Evergreen notes that I've made in my own personal research. Let's close the sidebar. Nothing too special here, but you see how there's the bullet points everywhere. After I finish my notes, I usually like to turn off the bullets so I just see it as a document. So now, but the problem was it's always at a block level and all its children. Well, this is what seems to be new to me. Maybe it existed before, but now there is view as document. And as you can see, the entire document doesn't display bullets unless I am going to be editing it. So that's a great feature, and you can toggle it on and off. There's view as bulleted list, view as numbered list, and it's basically affecting the entire document. This is also nice, collapse all. These are not subpages, so they're not going to collapse, but it's collapsing all possible nodes as you see. So I hope you enjoyed the Roman mind meld. That's just a quick introduction to some new features. You might be asking the question, what does this mean for Rome Monkey? It means the eventual death of the template engine, but that's going to be the case with Rome Monkey. As Rome adds native features, I'll take away stuff that's no longer needed. It's always better to have it native, and we really appreciate those native features. Thank you, Rome team. If you are interested in more information about my tool sets and other things, please come visit my Twitter feed here at Rome Hacker. And just one other plug before I begin or end. You probably saw that there's a new site called romethemes.io. This is an installable Chrome extension that allows you to easily toggle between various Rome themes. It's really nicely done, professionally done, top-notch. Kudos to the developer, great guy. So go check it out. And just one more plug before I go. Rome FM, here's the Twitter site. This is a podcast featuring Rome. There's already a number of episodes. It's excellently produced. It's in its beginning, but it's already very enjoyable, so you can listen about how others are using Rome, and you'll definitely pick up some useful techniques.